Hey guys, hopefully everyone is doing well. Today's target is to solve question number 4. The chapter which we are related with is rectification of error. 5 entries are given and performer. The second important thing is to understand the performer. Look, this is a requirement to make journal entries. So here you will make journal, and this is actual entry and wrong entry which we have already discussed. Although these two columns are never used right now, we have solved two questions, but still these two columns were empty. These two columns will be used today, but before that I want to revise something. First error which we have understood is undercast. Undercast mean error of omission, and we have discussed when you have written less than the required. So this is your first error, and you have decided the solution as well for this. And what you will do in case of undercast, debit do debit and credit do credit. It means you will write in the same line. This was our first error, which we have already discussed in BRS, bank reconciliation statement as well. And here several times this error was discussed. Okay, now we will see our second error, and that was overcast. Overcast or error of commission or wrong entry. And the solution which we have decided, if it is debit, then do opposite as credit, and if it is credit, do it debit. On the other hand, you can say same and here at opposite side. In case of undercast, you will choose the same side. In case of overcast, you will choose the opposite side. This we have already discussed. Now there was one error which we have discussed in previous chapter, that was double error. And how you would know that some mistake is of double error? If we have debited something instead of credit, or we have credited something instead of debit. So this would be considered as double error, and how it would be solved? Double amount on original side. Double amount on original side, but here we will be explaining it once again. So why we have taken this much time? Because this was important. Double error. Debited instead of credit. Let's say we have two sides. One is debit and other is credit. Okay, you were asked to write an amount on debit side. Again, you were asked to write an amount on debit side. But instead of writing amount on debit side, you have written that amount. Suppose that amount was 2. You have written that amount on credit side. This is called double error. Again, listen. You were told to write 2 rupees on debit side. You haven't written, and you have written that 2 rupees on the opposite side, which is credit. So there are two mistakes you have done. One, you were supposed to write, but you haven't written. This is first error. 2 rupees were to be written on debit side, but not written. First mistake. And second mistake, 2 rupees not were not supposed to be written on credit side but written. This is your second mistake, and I am requesting you to please have your full concentration, because without it you will not be able to understand. So here we are. How we are going to understand this mistake, I'm telling you once again. You were supposed to write 2 rupees on debit side. First mistake, you haven't written, which we have mentioned over here. And second mistake, instead of writing that amount on debit side, you have posted that amount to the opposite credit side. So there are two mistakes, and how you will rectify these two mistakes. First step, you were supposed to write it on debit side and you haven't written, and you are reminded. Then the solution is, you are reminded, write down on debit side. Secondly, this 2 rupees on credit side was not required to be written on credit side. To cut, we cannot cut it, we cannot erase it, we cannot delete it, we cannot use whitener. So to cancel its effect, we will write 2 rupees once again. So solution is what? You will write double amount on original side. Double amount on original side. So please understand, these are three errors. We will conclude this lecture for the time being. I am requesting you to please understand these three errors first and then come back and we will continue our question number 2. For the time being, it would be ended. So first error is undercast, we will write at the same side. Second, overcast, we'll write it at the opposite side. If it is double error, how would we know double error? If you have debited instead of credit and credited instead of debit, how you will rectify this error? Double amount on the original side. So it is requested to please listen again and again and again so that you can memorize it well. So thank you very much for your time. We are going to end this lecture, and next we will be coming back to solve our question. Allah Hafiz.